Do you ever remember a movie not because the villain was evil, but because they didn't need to do all the things that they did? Because they were already talented, already successful, already winning. Today, I want to talk about a movie I don't hear people mentioning that often. Standing Ovation. To be honest, when I first came about this movie, I don't remember how. I don't know if I was on a bootleg movie website or what, but it was brought to me and now I'm bringing it to you. And I want to talk about why its antagonist fascinated me more than frustrated me. I don't know if anyone remembers Standing Ovation, but I do. I got brought back into it when I heard this song while I was listening to another Cinderella story and Can't Rock and many more. Cheetah Girls musical playlist. And then all of a sudden, Blush came on. Every time I look at you, I'm starting blush, 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 blush. Oh wait, actually, it wasn't Blush. It was Dancing Girl. You wanna be my dancing girl, my dancing girl? Show her how. Yeah, and that came on, and as I was listening to that recently, something stood out to me that I didn't fully understand as a kid. The antagonists weren't bad because they lacked skill. They weren't jealous because they were losing. They weren't desperate. They were actually better than the protagonists. So the question is, why were they being mean? The question isn't why were they being mean. The question is, why did they still feel the need to tear others down? So that leads me on to today's question, which is, why do antagonists sabotage others even when they don't need to? And what does that say about insecurity, fear, and storytelling? In Standing Ovation, the rival dance group isn't struggling. Blush, Dancing Girl, the ones I just sung to you just now, the Wiggles, it was actually the Wiggies and not the Wiggles. I don't think that's better, but keep going. Were polished, they were trained, they had resources, they had experience, and honestly, they probably would have won without doing anything extra. But instead of focusing on themselves, they chose intimidation, cruelty, and sabotage. And as a kid, I thought, wow, they're just mean. But as an adult, as a 20-year-old adult, I see something else. I'm mature. I've grown. I see they were never afraid of losing. They were afraid of being replaced. This isn't about fear or failure. It's a fear of being irrelevant. Because when you are already on the top, the scariest thing isn't losing, it's being forgotten. The new group represents something dangerous: fresh energy, passion, authenticity, heart. And suddenly, talent alone doesn't feel like it's enough anymore. This trope shows up everywhere. This isn't just Standing Ovation. We see this exact emotional antagonist in 200-Pound Beauty, dance movies, dramas, competition-based stories, even high school dramas. The antagonist doesn't sabotage because they're untalented. They sabotage because they built their identity on being the best. And when that identity is threatened, they unravel. But why this works so well emotionally is because this type of antagonist is just human. They're not evil mastermind. They're insecure. Loki, for example, in Thor. Loki was just insecure the whole entire time. The whole entire time. Which leads to me saying they're scared that someone younger is coming. Someone hungrier is existing. Someone with heart might be chosen over perfection and talent. And that insecurity turns into cruelty. That's real. I think sometimes stories think the antagonist has to be worse, meaner, crueler. But Standing Ovation proves something important. The antagonist doesn't need to be justified. They just need to be understandable. Their actions aren't right, but their emotions make sense. I think that's why people love Loki so much. He even got his own TV show. He just is relatable. Emotion over logic. Logically, the antagonist didn't need to do any of those things. Emotionally, they felt replaced. And emotions don't care about logic. They care about fear. So why this matters for writing? Because we're going to bring that back around to that. If you're a writer, this is important. Your antagonist doesn't have to be weaker than your protagonist. Sometimes the most powerful antagonists are the ones who have more power, have more skill, has more resources, but lack emotional security. That's when conflict gathers. It accumulates. It becomes something like, oh wait, let me rewatch this movie again or reread this book again. I think that's why Standing Ovation stuck with me when it was brought to me. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. I remember this group. I remember that boy giving me devotion. You know? Not because of the competition, not because of the dancing, but because it showed something subtle. You can be talented and you can still be threatened. You can be successful and still feel insecure. Sometimes the antagonist isn't fighting the hero. They're fighting the idea that they might not be special forever. So now I want to ask you, do you remember Standing Ovation? Or another movie where the antagonist didn't actually need to be cruel? Tell me in the comments, because I think those stories says the most about us. With that being said, I'll see y'all around. Bye bye. Bye bye.